Good afternoon, good evening, Zimbabweans. Thank you so much for joining us. You're tuned in to your favorite weekly program, News Review on Change Radio, where we discuss news that made the headlines during the course of the week. Please, let's share this video so that as many people as possible can hear what is happening in our country, in provinces, South Africa, UK, America, Australia, where Zimbabwean citizens are. Thank you so much for joining us. Leader Loveness, please go ahead and meet with Zimbabweans here.
Thank you, Chief. I'd like to thank the viewers and listeners who just joined us on our program, Change Radio News Review today. I'd like to say greetings to you all the corners of the world. My name is Loveness Gotura, here in South Africa, in Johannesburg. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, I will be joined later on by Champion Barbara. She'll be joining us from the United Kingdom, but we have quite a number of topics that we want to go over with you. Please comment right on the comment section what you think about what we are discussing. And also let us know where you are tuning in from. And to help us go through the topics that we have, we cross over to Finland, where we have our champion there. Please, Estella, go ahead.
Thank you, Chief. Blessed day to you all, our viewers and listeners joining us from our Facebook page, YouTube page, and Shepherd Yuda's page, as well as on our internet radio. Warm welcome to this week's episode of News Review. As Chief pointed out earlier, we have a very interesting lineup of stories to go over with you. Stories that were covered in our news bulletins during this last week. Without much further ado, we could go straight into the first topic, which is already on the screen. We want to talk about the conviction and arrest of Tsitsi Dangarembwa and Julie Barnes by the captured Zimbabwean judiciary. Chief, would you like to take us through?
Yes, yes. It's we received with shock and disappointment the news that Tsitsi Dangarembwa, in award-winning writer, had been convicted by the Zimbabwean government or the Zimbabwean courts. Of course, it's Zimbabwean government because the courts in Zimbabwe are not operating independently. They are getting instructions from the Zimbabwean government, in particular from Emmerson Mnangagwa. Anyone who opposes Emmerson Mnangagwa becomes an enemy of the country, becomes an enemy of the state, and they get arrested for that. And to think of it, Tsitsi Dangarembwa is being convicted for holding a poster. I don't know if you have the picture of Tsitsi Dangarembwa holding a poster with Julie Barnes, and then you think that someone has to go to jail for that. And then you think that the government is wasting resources, state resources, judiciary resources, assigning lawyers, assigning judges to go through a case where someone was just holding a placard and you get convicted for that. So this is very unfortunate. And I think Zimbabwe is just, looking for trouble for itself. You arrest, you convict someone like Tsitsi Dangarembwa, a world-renowned person. What do you expect from the world when we start having, countries that give us sanctions? It's because of issues like this. So it's very, very unfortunate that Tsitsi Dangarembwa and Julie Barnes were convicted.
Yes, more of Zanupf shenanigans as we approach elections, as is typical with ZANU-PF. They start employing intimidation and threats to try and silence any dissenting voices and to try and strike fear in the electorate as we go towards elections, just to let people know that if you dare to speak out against their terror, there will be consequences. So, a continuation of the culture of ZANU-PF that we are all too familiar with from previous elections. I don't know if my other panelists would like to add on to what Chief commented on.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Estella. Yeah, if I may add on this issue, it's so sad being a woman just like Tsitsi and the colleague. Zimbabwe is a dictatorship country where we are never free. They try by all means to thwart the dissenting voices, like we said, Estella. Tsitsi was just demonstrating because Hopewell Chingono had been arrested for no apparent reason. So they were just saying, free our journalists. We need media reforms. We need electoral reforms. Just they did not even sing. They did not even chant any slogans. They were just holding their placards and demonstrating peacefully, but they were arrested. They were arrested. And it was so sad when they were convicted to 5 years, which was suspended. and they were made to pay a bail, a heavy fine, not a bail, a fine, because they were not jailed. They were supposed to be jailed in any way. Even if they were made to pay the fine, you know, the fine is still unjustified, because what they were doing is a just cause. It's something that is constitutional. Demonstrating and petitioning the government or the responsible authorities is not a crime. One cannot be penalized for that. So we stand in solidarity with Tsitsi and her colleague. You know, it's so sad. Like I said, Kuti, people should not be deterred. You know, it's meant to scare people, especially women. You know, you hear a lot of women saying, "Tina handidi zvepolitics," because politics dzachona unorohwa, unorepwa. Think of the trio, how they suffered as women. Think of champion Karenyi Kore and Tome and Gladys Tlachoayo. Think of Mahere. You know, a lot of people, you know, they've been victimized. A lot of women, they've been victimized. But what I like best about these women, they were not moved. Instead, you know, it made them stronger. So we just say to these two ladies, powerful ladies, we are together in this. You know, they should fight on. Um, they should not stop fighting for human rights just because they've been convicted. How many people last and Tunga, they spent 8 years in jail for the crimes that they didn't even commit. So this is the Zimbabwe that we are living in, and we are back to square one. The reason why our forefathers went to war, it was because of such problems. You know, the Smith regime could not allow us to demonstrate. You know, the workers were not given, they're not given fair salaries. You know, there was discrimination. Salaries were given according to your race. You know, black people were earning less and white people were earning more. But now we now have the black elite, where black people that are aligned to Mnangagwa, they are eating a bigger chunk, not even a bigger chunk, the whole cake, because we don't have anything to eat. Isusu tikutongononga mvuruvuru pasi petable, tikungononga mvuruvuru, hapana cake at all. So people should not be stopped, it should not be deterred. You know, people should go ahead, they should soldier on. You know, the slogan always aluta continua, even if they try and kill us. You kill one, they'll emerge two powerful heroes or heroines until we remove this detector. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DJ Babsy. I don't know, Lila Loveness, would you like to add on?
Yes, champion. I just want to say this Zanupf regime doesn't have respect for women at all. The most thing that they are doing, they want to put fear into the citizens. Put anyone who tries to raise a voice, they arrest, they torture, they do anything bad, everything bad. So I think citizens must just be strong. We continue to stand in solidarity with Dangarembwa and her partner. They just have to be strong. We also have to be strong for them. We are not allowed to raise our voices by this ruling government. And that must not make us to just keep quiet and let them do what they want. We must stand for what we want. We must stand for what we want. This thing of disrespecting women, it has to stop. That is unfair for us. They don't have respect for women. They don't allow us to stand with our choices. So, which is a very bad thing, and which is the reason why people has to register to vote and get rid of this government. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, my leader. And as all of you pointed out, the way forward is to stand strong and defy the bullies, because bullies are drawn to fear. They're always drawn to the one who does not stand for themselves. And when you stand up to a bully, they retreat. They tried it with Hopo Chimono, and he did not back down. And now they've left him alone. He even left Zimbabwe and went to what summit was that, where he exposed more of their looting, and they threatened that he would be arrested on return, but nothing happened to him. So just standing strong, and if we can stand with in solidarity with Tsitsi and Julie Barnes, maybe on Twitter, on our social media profiles, statuses, just put out something there that declares to them that we will not be deterred. We are standing strong and we are standing firm together. Our next story, which we are going to discuss, is on Electoral Reforms Blueprint launch, which was presented in a press conference this past week. What do you think about the contents of the blueprint and how it was received by the public?
Yeah, it was a long-awaited document, something that the citizens have been waiting for, and something that I also know the leadership of the party, in particular our elections department, led by Councillor Makon and Ellen Shiriedenga, have been working on. And I think it met the people's expectations. There is a certain kind of excitement among citizens, because election reforms are an essential part of 2023. In fact, there's no reason why we should even go for elections if there are no reforms, because we know already that with the current situation at ZEC, the playing field, the electoral field is not level. So why should we continue to participate in elections where we know that the election is already rigged? The demands, the 7 demands that the party put forward are critical, and we need to push so that we get at least 70 to 80% of those implemented. And we know that Zanupf is not just going to simply reform themselves out of power, which means there has to be a lot of pressure that should be, put on the government, and which means we may have to resort to protests in Zimbabwe, but not only that, we also have to put pressure on the regional organizations like SADC, AU, and even the United Nations. That's the reason why you saw citizens in North America demonstrating. One of the major reasons why we were at the United Nations was to ensure, or to push, or to put pressure on the United Nations so that they can also in turn put pressure on the Zimbabwean government. So we have to be doing that consistently and persistently in all countries where we have Zimbabweans. There's nothing wrong in us demanding a free, fair, and violence-free election. So that's one of the reasons why we're at the United Nations. And I think this document came at the right time. We now all need to push it through as Zimbabweans, as citizens, so that at least we get some of the reforms done. Otherwise, if it was my personal opinion, we should declare that no reforms, no elections. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief. Anything to add? I think you're on mute. You're on mute, Champion Barbara. You're still on mute. Was Champion Barbara speaking?
I don't think she's speaking.
Okay, thank you so much. What I wanted to say about this document, the prepare document on reforms, is the on number one, the right to vote. You know, the right to vote is one of the fundamental reasons why Zimbabwe went to war. The liberation struggle was all about one man, one vote. And we got it in 1980. That's why Zanupf won in 1980. But the most surprising thing is now they don't want that to happen. How are they hindering this one man, one vote? People might ask, but are we not voting? Yes, we are voting. But are we voting freely? If you are told, kuti, just tell them, people in the rural areas, you know, they are being forced to surrender their voting rights to other people, so that they can write for them and vote for them, you know, which is very unfortunate. Your vote is your secret, but you see most people, they are voting in fear. They are being accompanied by people that are harassing them in the evening. In the morning, that same person is accompanying you to go and vote. Do you think that person can vote freely? How are they denying us that vote? They are denying us that vote because they are not allowing us the process, the registration process. You know, it's so frustrating. They are frustrating the people that want to register. So because they know if people register in their numbers, they'll vote for change because no one wants to associate with ZANU-PF. So the right to vote is a very, very key reform that we need to tackle. And, you know, not forget, excuse me, not forgetting the diaspora vote. You know, they don't want with the diaspora vote, but they want our bonds. You know, diaspora is remitting billions and billions of monies back home, but they don't want us to vote. Why? Because they know that people in the diaspora are there because of ZANU-PF. So we want to continue pushing for these reforms. It's not for CCC to do these reforms. Even, you know, one thing that boggles my mind, Chief, is they should be media reforms, but I don't think the journalists are doing much for this to happen. They want CCC to push for media reforms, but they are the ones that are affected. We are not seeing enough noise from the media fraternity. You know, everyone should be involved in these reforms. There are a lot of reforms that we need to push so that we are almost there. Although our elections, like Chief said, already these are telltales of how the elections are not going to be free, fair and credible, because wana job scala, wana honorable Stole, the Nyatsime 15, you know, including Job and Stole, to make it 17. They are there, and we know it's political. You know, they want to force Nelson Chamisa to a dialogue. They want to force Chamisa to join Poland. So these are the issues, you know. It's not all about Kuti, they wanted to cause violence in Nyatsime, but they want to hold them at ransom, you know, so that we budge to their demands, you know, because there are some decisions that they want to pass in Poland, and they know that kana Nelson Asimo hakuna chinhu chinofamba, because it's just as good as they will have made that decision on their own. So there are a lot of things really that we need to consider. So we need to push, every citizen need to push. It's not a CCC thing. It's for everyone. It's not a party thing. It's for every Zimbabwean. The victory is not for Chamisa. The victory is for all of us. It's for our children. You know, we are suffering. The victory is for the people in the diaspora who are tired of living in other people's countries as if it's Adina Nyika yedu. So it's a very powerful document that we need to amplify. We need to conscientize people on this document. We have a lot of work to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, there, Champion Barbara, pointing out that this is not a CCC project, something that only CCC has to work towards. What would you tell to our viewers and listeners tuned in right now? How can they play their role in ensuring that they put pressure on the current government and on regional bodies to, to do something about these electoral reforms? What can the ordinary Zimbabwean watching us right now do?
Well, the
I
ordinary
think I
Zimbabwean.
think
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Go ahead.
it's for you, Chief.
Anyone,
Okay, maybe
anyone, go ahead.
before Chief comes in. Okay, I just wanted to applaud Chief. The people from, is it Australia, who have started writing letters to SADC, writing letters to embassies, demanding the diaspora vote. That's, you know, we can't wait for North America only. We can't wait for South Africa. We can't wait for China. Everyone has got to faka pressure, hashtag faka pressure. We have to write to everyone and demand, these demands has to be known. The Zimbabwean story has to be told by every individual. Like I said, because we are all affected. Thanks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. So, yeah, thank you for that. We can go on to the next topic. You took my words out of my mouth.
Yes. The next topic is very much linked to the first topic that we had addressed, the arrest, the conviction and sentencing of Tsitsi, Dangarembwa and Julie Barnes. Baroness Kate Hoey gave a statement on her Twitter account saying, and I quote, "Any pretense that Zimbabwe is a country where the upcoming elections could possibly be free and fair has vanished." What are the implications of such a tweet from such a prominent figure?
Yeah, that's exactly what we need. Prominent people commenting on the human rights situation in Zimbabwe, prominent organizations weighing in on the human rights crisis that we have in Zimbabwe. And that doesn't come on its own. It's not a coincidence that the Baroness is talking about that. It's the activism, the international advocates that Zimbabwean citizens across the world are doing that brings to light the situation in Zimbabwe. The demonstrations that the people in the United Kingdom continually have, the demonstrations here in America, and what we do on social media. Social media has become an integral part of our political landscape. And as such, everyone, people across the world, they visit the social media and they see what is going on. They see what the people are writing. They see the human rights abuses in Zimbabwe. Who doesn't know about Honorable Job Scala, Honorable Stole? I mean, there's no country that treats its honorable members of parliament so badly the way Zimbabwe has been doing. And that comes to light. So that prompts leaders, that prompts governments, countries to caution on what is going on in Zimbabwe. And that's exactly what we've been talking about as citizens, that there are no free, fair, and credible elections that can be held under the present circumstances, under the present environment in Zimbabwe. That would be fair. That would be fair. They can't. We can't have an election the way the situation is right now. Hence, the electoral reform program, or the electoral reform document that was published by the party, the efforts from our colleagues in Australia, the efforts are from other external assemblies, UK, North America, and many others that have spoken out on the dire human rights situation in Zimbabwe. And we need to keep doing that so that more organizations, recognize that Emerson Mnangagwa, who claims to be a Democrat, who claims to be, part of a new dispensation, he has become worse than Robert Mugabe. So we need to keep fighting, we need to keep pushing, and we want to thank the Baroness and everyone around the world who is bringing up the human rights situation in Zimbabwe. It just gives us confidence, that whatever we are doing is being heard. The social media campaigns, what we do on Twitter Spaces, on Facebook, it's getting there, and that's what we need. People need to know that the situation in Zimbabwe is not normal.
Yes, thank you there, Chief. Anything to add, Champion Barbara, Champion Loveness?
Let me not dilute into what Chief was just saying, but I just want to say confidence, as he was saying, confidence is the most important thing that you must focus on. As you all know that whatever that you do with confidence, it comes out right. So we must have confidence in whatever that we do on this road, this journey that we have to have our new Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Faith has a very important role to play in our struggle. We have a comment from Forget Nare. He says, kindly improve sound system, please. We're currently listening. May I ask you, viewers on Facebook and YouTube, indicate if the sound quality is bad where you are as well, so that we can try to see if there's something that needs to be fixed. Then, if that is okay, we can move on to our next story. Which is electricity blackouts taking Zimbabwe back to the dark ages.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, that's what has happened. What is happening in Zimbabwe? Zanupf has successfully completed the ruralification, if there is any such word. Yeah,
Invented by Zanupf.
yeah, they've completed the ruralification of Zimbabwe's urban centers, because now we have boreholes in cities. We now have, because people don't have water, we now have people sinking boreholes instead of having tapped water. People are now having mbaura, if you know mbaura, in the cities, because even though they have heaters, in their cupboards, they can't use heaters because there is no electricity. So that's where we are right now. People, instead of cooking using electric stoves, they are now using wuni, vanonotsvaga huni voya nadzo mutaundi. So
Wow.
that's the very opposite of what we are trying to achieve. Instead of urbanizing Zimbabwe, we are ruralizing Zimbabwe, ruralizing our urban centers, and that's very unfortunate. And I can tell Zimbabweans that that can only get worse. It's never going to get better with Emerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF. It can only get worse. Saka, until you heard what they are now trying to do right now, they are now trying to bring madongi kuti apota achitakura garbage mumatowns.
I think for real.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They're actually discussing it. Maybe you see it being passed in parliament very soon. But what country does that? Who does that in this day and age? Instead of moving forward, ZANU-PF is taking everyone backwards, and we shouldn't accept that, Zimbabweans. Don't ever think, wherever you are, don't ever think that ZANU-PF is ever going to change the situation in Zimbabwe. They have failed. These people have had 40 years of trying to change Zimbabwe. They've failed. It's never going to change. They're just used to looting. They are used to stealing. They are used to looting. They are used to killing people. They are used to arresting people arbitrarily, like what they are doing with Tsitsi, Dangarembwa, and many others. Those things are not going to change. So it's us Zimbabweans, it's us citizens who can change the situation in our country by advocating for change and making sure that everyone registers to vote and everyone turns out to go and vote in Zimbabwe. Otherwise, you go and you find Glenview, worse than you left it. Inenge yaawedza, inenge yauzumba maramba pfungwe, because kunenge kwaane madhongi anenge achitakura mabhini mutaundi muyamo, and then you say what?
Incredible.
It's so pathetic, Chief. I was reading, it was sort of a cartoon, which was saying kuti hanzi zinwa iri kuti hakuna magetsi ekupamba mvura, and Zesa is saying hakuna mvura yekupamba magetsi.
Pane tweet yandakaona yaJoseph Kalimbwe achiti tinotora mvura from the same dam is it Kariba Victoria Falls, but ku Zambian side, from that same dam vari kuproduce electricity enough even to export, but from the Zimbabwean side vari kuti hakuna mvura. Ironic.
And remember the promises that Mnangagwa, I think you should have maybe looked for these promises, Estella, the promises that Mnangagwa made during, am I audible?
Yes, you are clearly audible.
My gadget is acting up. It's gonna close anytime from now. So it's like Anzi, no problem of the sound. You are getting the information. Thanks, you are not behind with your update. Okay, thank you so much for getting Nare. Okay, I was saying Gutima promises, Mnangagwa's promises, the election manifesto, they were saying kujekesa nyika. One of the manifesto was saying kujekesa nyika, and they were saying there will be a light in the country, meaning there will be electricity, but it's the other way around. You see a Zesa car carrying firewood, and then what was out but I was also surprised to go to South Africa. There is now load shedding in South Africa. Maybe Loveness can share light on this. Magetsi ari kuenda zvekudaro South Africa. Waimbotiseka. South Africa is slowly becoming like Zimbabwe. I've heard a lot of people crying kuti magetsi ari kutoenda 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours magetsi kusina every day. Magetsi ari kuenda ku South Africa. So, yes, it's very unfortunate. Africa is we are being led by maybe because they're old. We are being led by one wasingazi technology. They don't even know what to do. It's like me and Chief struggling to use our Samsung S22. Tinongotenga nekuda zvinhu, but we can't even operate the phones. Why not give the young people the opportunity to lead? Because we are old. If I am old, then Nangagwa is, we don't even want to go there. We must just rest and raise their grandchildren.
Oh, yeah, she is frozen. But Little Loveness, you can just shed a little light on the load shedding in South Africa.
Yes, thank you, Rita. It's becoming worse each and every day. It's like sometimes electricity goes for 2 hours and comes back for 2 hours. It's like 2 hour, 2 hour, 2 hour. 2 hours tisina magezi, 2 hours tina magezi. Like now it's something like 21 minutes to 11. 12 o'clock electricity is going. In some places electricity just came back at 10. So I think here in SA it's just worse than what we were experiencing. In Zim, because in Zim maybe my guess, if I remember well, those days when I was in Zim, electricity was only going at night. It's only that nowadays it's becoming worse. But now during the day, sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you find out ukuthi akuna magesi anenge aenda na 4 a.m. aenda na 4 a.m. ozoka na 6, from 6 to 10 oenda futhi, then na 12 ozoka. So it's like 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, or 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours. And I think this is going to make the situation in Zim worse, because my industries they are not operating well because of this load shedding. They are trying to better their country, manufacture some of the things in their industries, but when there's no electricity, and since most of the things zvinoenda kuzimu zvinobatsira ma-citizens kuZimbabwe zvichibva kuno South Africa, now they are now limited because of load shedding, nenyaya yekuti hapana enough time yekuti zvinhu zvacho zvigadzirwe zvishandwe. So this situation here in SA is actually making the situation in Zimbabwe worse. Yeah, Leader Stella, I think.
Oh yes, sorry, Dandru, Torendri mute. So sorry about that.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's quite sad what's happening in Zimbabwe and South Africa. Hopefully, in the near future, we can turn our countries into new Zambias, where we change the trajectory from degeneration to development and regeneration of our economies, our infrastructure, educational system, all our public services. If there aren't any more comments on this current topic, then we can tackle the next one.
I think we are done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Apparently, Sybeth Musengezi's house has been petrol bombed and burnt. Do you have an idea who could be behind this, why they did this, and what this means for the political situation in Zimbabwe as we are going towards elections?
Well,
maybe Chief must first of all tell the listeners and viewers who is this Sybeth Musengezi.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Sybeth Musengezi is one of the ZANU-PF supporters that have challenged the emergence of Emerson Mnangagwa to the presidents in ZANU-PF. And he is challenging the illegality of that process. You know, Anzi Mosha Irori, we obviously would have appreciated if this had happened immediately after, Emerson Mnangagwa had, taken over power through the coup. Then it would have been more helpful. But even now, we still appreciate what is going on. So Sybeth Musengezi has petitioned the ZANU-PF leadership, including Emerson Mnangagwa and the government itself, on Emerson Mnangagwa's legality. We all know that Emerson Mnangagwa is an illegal immigrant in the Zimbabwean government. He's not supposed to be there. He lacks legitimacy. The way he came in, obviously through a coup, and then also through rigging the election in 2018, where he was imposed by the Supreme Court on the people of Zimbabwe. But now we also have people in ZANU-PF challenging his ascendance to the ZANU-PF leadership as the first secretary of ZANU-PF. And we await to see how that unfolds. Of course, we will not be engrossed on that. We will not focus on that, because I know Zimbabwean citizens are very quick to say, you are being diverted, you are being diverted. But we can't afford to take our eyes or even a little bit of our attention to things like this. It's just like the Susan Mutami issue, where people were attacking us saying we are being diverted. No, we're not being diverted. Our strategies to win elections will not be centered around Susan Mutami, neither will they be centered around Sybeth Musengezi removing ZANU-PF from, or removing Emerson Mnangagwa from the president. No, but we do take part on things that affect us, that affect Zimbabweans. We cannot ignore because we are afraid of being used or of being diverted by ZANU-PF. We are giving ZANU-PF so much credit that we fail to attack them where we are supposed to attack them. We fail to take advantage of the mistakes that they make. When ZANU-PF makes a mistake, people don't want us to attack them because they are saying we are being diverted. No. That's why there's something called multitasking. We can focus on our strategies to remove ZANU-PF, and at the same time, we can also focus on ZANU-PF's mistakes and take advantage of them and attack them. In anything that hurts ZANU-PF, I will join. Anything that discredits Emerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF, I will join and I will do it. But it doesn't mean that I'm removing my focus from things that matter in the struggle. So the same thing is happening now with the Sybeth Musengezi. Yes, we'll follow what's happening, and we'll want to see how it's going to end. It might not be nothing, but if there's anything that we can use internationally or locally to discredit Emerson Mnangagwa, let's do that, because ZANU-PF does that too. If one of our leaders just makes a mistake, they come in and hit us, where it hurts most. If our party makes a mistake, they come in and in fact, they even do more. They even create lies. They even create, stuff that they hit us with, that they, take advantage of. So now when ZANU-PF has made a mistake, let's do what we need to do. And now coming back to your question, who might have done that? There's no other group that has been given a license to kill, a license to cause havoc and violence in Zimbabwe, except ZANU-PF youth. Those are the people that cause mayhem, that cause violence in Zimbabwe. Triple C never, you never see violence even in our programs. We only interact with violence when violence has been, impacted on us by ZANU-PF. But otherwise, we do not prescribe to violence. So obviously, it's Mnangagwa's boys, it's Mnangagwa's dogs that do not want Emerson Mnangagwa to be challenged in any way. If you see them doing that, they know that this is going to damage them. This is has an impact on Emmerson Mnangagwa. So it's obviously ZANU-PF. There's no one who have an appetite to confront or to harm Sybeth Musengezi except ZANU-PF. It will not be anyone else. It will not be the citizens. It has to be ZANU-PF youth. But unfortunately, there is no rule of law in Zimbabwe. You see that these people will not be arrested, just like the person that threatened President Chamisa was never arrested or was arrested and released, catch and release. Just like the person who made that Mo Blessing Ali was caught and released. Just like we have never heard of the person that made that Mr. Tuesday in Bulawayo, the person that made that Boneni movie in Kwekwe. These people are still out, So I don't think we'll see much with Sybeth Musengezi's, attackers, the people that bombed his house. But in a normal country, these people are supposed to be in jail now. They should have been arrested as we are speaking.
Yes. What does this tell of the internal ZANU politics? Do you think this could be indication of some factional divisions within the enemy's ranks?
Obviously, this is political in the factionalism in ZANU-PF. And the reason why they burnt the house, probably maybe they wanted to destroy evidence. Remember what they did even in Nyatsime. Maybe they want to destroy evidence, and also maybe they wanted to kill him as well, so that the case would not continue. Neither can they stop Sybeth from appearing in court, because he has got the right to appear in court. So I think there's another way of getting rid of Sybeth, so that they cannot be humiliated in court. If you are claiming to be the president of the country, and your presidency is being questioned in your own party, whom you think you are leading, you claim to be the president of ZANU-PF, and yet there are people in the ZANU-PF who are saying, you are not elected properly. So, since if he is illegitimate in ZANU-PF, he's also illegitimate to be the president of Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, reeking of factional wars indeed. Is this good news for the Zimbabwean people, for the opposition, as we are going towards elections? The idea that ZANU-PF is not as united as before, that there might be divisions. Is this something that we could leverage, and how?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that we can do is to, be alert to what is happening. We will not focus, we will not concentrate on their factional wars, because ZANU-PF are ZANU-PF. They are very different from us, I must say. We citizens, opposition members, they fight, and then when they fight, they really fight. You see what has happened to Douglas Monzora. That's how the fights end up. But ZANU-PF, they fight, but when it matters most, they gather together, they regroup, and they support each other in an election. So that's the reason why I was saying we will not focus on that, and will not make this part of our election strategy to win an election, but we'll be watching keenly.
Mm-hmm. So maybe a lesson that we could take from the ZANU-PF there, that among our ranks, if we should have disagreements, it's okay. Let's disagree among ourselves, but let's let's retain that united front. There's no need for, like what happened, as you said, with Ngonzora, and total division. as we go towards elections, because obviously ZANU PF does tend to try and create divisions in the opposition. So maybe it's something a lesson we could take from that. That's whatever happens, let's always present a united front, even if we have disagreements in the back. If there are any out there who are discontent with how things are being done in CCC, the solution is not to break away and start your own thing, but we retain that united front. And because at the end of the day, the important thing is to make sure Mkomana Pinda come 2023. If there aren't any additions on this one, we could just move to the next one.
Yes, let's move on.
Yes, this one, excellent news. Comfort Dondo, a women's rights activist, donated a whopping 7,000 United States dollars for CCC female candidates running for the 2023 elections. Chief, I understand you were in the place where this happened. Would you like to enlighten us a little bit more on this?
Yeah, I'm actually the person who dragged the comforter from where she was sitting at a dinner table. She didn't want it to be, I mean, she had made the announcement, she had told me, and she wanted me to make the announcement. She didn't want the focus to be on her. But after I made the announcement, I had to drag her out of her seat to come and make the short speech that she made. Comfort has done great things to women in Zimbabwe. Right now, as we are speaking, I think we're going to do a program on that. There's a young lady who was burnt by using cooking oil by a cruel husband in South Africa, and she got deformed. Her whole face, was completely deformed, and she has been living like that for the past 2-3 years. And when Comfort heard about this young lady, she traveled to South Africa, met here, and she also traveled to Zimbabwe at one time. Yeah, right now, I think 2 weeks ago, where she took that lady from Zimbabwe and flew the lady to Minnesota here in the United States of America, and her face is now being done or reformed or repaired at a plastic surgery clinic, one of the world's best plastic surgery clinics in Minnesota. And that costs over $100-something thousand, and she has managed to do that for this young lady, giving a new life. I'm actually going to travel there, and I'll be doing an interview with this young lady in Minnesota, because it's only 10 hours from here. But it's very important. I said I'm not going to do the interview online. I'm going to travel there and do that interview. So that's Comfort Dondo. She has been very helpful, and she has also spoken out in support of Mary Chiwenga, the former Vice President Chiwenga's wife, where Chiwenga has displayed his cruelty by denying Mary Chiwenga, medication in Zimbabwe, and also permission to leave the country to get medication here. Comfort Dondo has spoken and has made even the United Nations aware of what is going on in Zimbabwe. You all know that she's one person who publicly stood with Susan Mutami and went to Zim-I's all Zim-I's Twitter spaces standing with Susan Mutami, even under the attack of the cruel Themba Muliswa and Emerson Mnangagwa. So she has done a lot. She's doing a lot for Zimbabwean women. The organization is based here in the United States, but she does a lot of work as well with Zimbabwean women. Here in America, she's doing a lot. She's well known in Minnesota, for helping abused women, for helping women that are just starting up. And it's a privilege that we have a citizen like that. So yes, she did donate $7,000 to the cause of women candidates. You know, I don't know how this is going to be done. Initially, she had said she wanted to work with 3 or 4 candidates, women candidates in Zimbabwe. So that means there has to be a selection process to get those 3 or 4 candidates, or the money is going to just be divided among the women candidates when we have them. Because as it is, we don't have any candidate. We don't know who is going to be, running in which ward or constituent. But I know that the process is starting soon, and before the end of the year, we'll be having all our candidates in the 210 constituencies and in all the wards, and we have women candidates there. So it will be good to have most of the women benefit from these grants.
Excellent move by Comfort Dondo, and a very big thank you to our sister for not only vocally advocating for fellow female female politicians, but actually putting her money where her mouth is. Thank you so much, Chief, for
And
all
then,
this.
and just to add on to that, Stella, I must say on that day, it was a powerful, very powerful day. We didn't have much time because people wanted to eat, but we managed as a interim province to raise $14,000 for Mugwazo,
Wow.
of which $4,000 has already been sent to Zimbabwe. Yesterday there was a Mugwazo meeting which is addressed by the chief champion advocate Nelson Chamisa, and for that Mugwazo feedback meeting to happen, it needs $2,500 every month. The feedback meetings are done monthly, so that $4,000 took care of that workshop, and will also support the next workshop that will be happening in the next month. So this is really good. I want to thank the citizens in North America for coming up, in their hundreds and supporting the fundraising dinner. People had paid $100 for the dinner, and they paid air tickets for them to be in the United States of America. I mean, to be in New York, because America is different from all the other countries. In UK, you just jump in a train and you're in the next state or next city. Here, you have to fly. People have to buy tickets upward of $500, $600, but they still managed to come to the event and donated $14,000.
Yeah. Is somebody speaking?
Yes, I just wanted, I can't subtract from what Chief has just said, but I just want to thank our sister Comfort Dondo on behalf of all the women, the candidates that are going to be selected. I just want to say thank you so much. In North America, thank you so much, Comfort Dondo. I've already thanked her personally. I was talking to her, and if we could have more women supporting our female candidates, it will go a long way. We can reach the 50-50 that you are talking about, Estella, because I've been there before. Being a female candidate is not easy. You need resources, you need campaign materials, you need banners, you need a lot of things, flyers, you need regalia. So most women, they don't have the capacity to finance their campaigns, because of the patriarchal nature of our system. So it's just not feasible for women to contest, especially in constituencies, because a lot of resources are needed in constituencies. And I hope we are going to have more female donors donating to women, so that we reach the 50-50 gender equality benchmark. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Champion Barbara. Indeed, A bold move like this will go a long way in encouraging and emboldening our female politicians to stand up and take part in political processes in Zimbabwe. And yes, hopefully it will help to even the scale between the male and the female political candidates. And a big thank you to North America Province Chair, Chair Varukurvisa Ivavo. Hey. We appreciate you are doing so much, not only for at this event, not only for this purpose, but all the way back. Every time there is a crisis at home, someone is attacked by Zanupf, North America, you are quick to get together and mobilize funds. There is an event to take place in Zimbabwe. Most of the times we don't even know that you have got together and you have done your magic and you got things working. Thank you so much. We are eternally grateful. Ndima muri pa front line, yes, struggle. Thank you so much, Chief Sose.
I take the gratitude on behalf of the province.
Yes, very strong province. I appreciate. I wish I could be adopted into your province and become part of this.
You're already part of North America, Stella. You can't run away from that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to be able to, join the forces right in the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, and the next story we have lined up is there's a lot of corruption going on at Makombe. Apparently, citizens are being forced to pay a $2 bribe just to register to vote. Ndo rigging yanga ichitaurwa naChampion Barbara iye yekuti vari kutinyima our right to a one man one vote yakarwirwa just by withholding the right to register to vote, for example. What's your take on this one, panelists?
Yeah, I'll just quickly comment and then jump off to you on another engagement. Yeah, so it's very unfortunate that we have citizens that can't afford even to pay for a combi to get to registration centers. Zanupf, always try to discourage people from registering. They do not put enough registration centers. Registration centers are far away from where most people live, and people have to get into combis or buses for them to do that. In the urban areas, it's much better because you only need $1 or 50 cents. But in the rural areas, it's even worse because people maybe you have to travel to the growth point. You only find a registration center at the growth point. And we understand why Zanupf does do that, especially in the rural areas. They do not want many people to register to vote, and because they know that it will be very difficult for them to rig an election. And now they're trying to do the same thing in urban centers where they are getting their youth to introduce these bribes, $2 bribe for you to be able to register, because there are long queues and sometimes there's no not much equipment. You can go to a registration center and you can be told that something is not working and you have to come back again. All those frustrations, they end up making people not wanting to go back and register. And worse, you get there, you have to pay $2 maybe to jump the line or for you to be given preferential treatment. So this is very unfair. This is very unfortunate. And I think as citizens, this is something that we can fight. You don't need an electoral law to fight such kind of bribery. This is something that we can deal with. Those that are demanding $2 in the money should just be dealt with right there. We are citizens. You confront them. You ask them, why are you doing this? You can even trap them before you give them the $2, bata, I know we're not supposed to be encouraging violence, but seriously, we can't have people manipulating citizens like that, because people already, are struggling to get that dollar for them to get to the registration center.
Yes, and probably another looting tactic, because Zanupf is in their DNA, looting, so they're always looking for ways and opportunities to loot from the citizenry.
Yeah.
Champion Loveness, did you have something to add on this particular topic? The
I was
loot.
out for some minutes, so I didn't really know what you were talking about.
Okay, we were
Yeah, my
just
device
discussing.
was overheating.
All right. Okay, I see. Or we were just discussing the
Yeah.
last topic about the bribes at Makombe, where citizens are being forced to pay a $2 bribe just to register to vote.
Mm. Yo, that is a very bad thing that is happening. To that extent, I can just imagine that Zach is going to that extent. I think it's just a way of avoiding people to come and register to vote. Because just to get $1 in Zimbabwe is very difficult. People are struggling. Someone
Yes.
struggles to get just 50 cents to get a taxi to go there to Makombe to register. Then when they get there, they are being asked for another $2 again. What is the world turning into? It's just something that is very bad happening. That corruption, instead of them to lower that rate of corruption, they are just
Exacerbating.
putting salt on top of it. Yeah. Yo, I was just shocked.
Yeah. They are doing everything in their power to cling to power,
Mm.
trying to frustrate
I,
the voters.
I'm sure they say kana makata akurwadza anenge akupera. These people, they know that
100%.
in few months they won't
Mm.
have this opportunity to get money
To
from
loot
people
anymore.
to loot.
Yes.
So
Eh.
vari kunyatozviitira futi these
Yeah.
are the last kicks of a dying
Of a
donkey.
dying horse. Yes. You're so right. They know full well kuti this time chakachaya. Saka vari kutoba zvezvo zvekuti let me get as much as I can. Eh. So I mean that should strengthen our resolve, knowing kuti even ivo vari kutodedera vari kuzviziva kuti this time havabude.
Out again.
Yeah, so yes, we just press on, Zimbabweans. That was our last topic on this week's episode of News Review. Let me take this opportunity to thank all our panelists who, for different reasons, have already dropped from the live. Champion Loveness looks like she's having network issues, but thank you all for joining us. Thank you for your contributions, all your comments. If you are not yet subscribed to our YouTube page, please subscribe, follow us on Facebook. And if you have not downloaded the Change Radio mobile app, you can find it on Play Store, on Google Play Store. We encourage you to download that so that you can always tune in and listen to the programs that we have lined up on our internet radio. We wish you a very blessed week, and we hope to see you again next time on News Review at the same time, same place. In the meantime, stay well. Thank you, and bye bye. We shall just leave you listening to Paul Mazzore, Simbare Vanu.
verkkokauppa.